The KIWI Ears Etude, an IEM that's got some serious tech with a vibe that's straight up fun, most especially on punk rock mixes. However, I honestly believe this is not for everybody. This has what KIWI Ears calls KIWI Vibration Transducer or KVT that basically vibrates inside the shell. I have tried a similar IEM in the past with bone conduction tech, and there are some things to note about this unit before you buy. So far, the Etude was miles ahead in terms of performance versus that one I've tested. Big shout out to KIWI Ears for setting out this unit for review. No monetary exchange occurred here, yet they did send over the unit for free. I'm not going all lab coat analytical, and this is about just how my ears vibe with the Etude for media and gaming. Hi, I'm Daniel with the Biboyharanero team, tech enthusiast, gamer, audiophile, and voiceover artist. The KIWI Ears Etude is a tribrid IEM with a 10mm beryllium-plated dynamic driver, 3 balanced armature drivers, and a KIWI Ear vibration transducer or a bone conduction driver inside. Impedance is 5 ohms, lowest I've seen on an IEM, with a frequency response of 20Hz to 20K and sensitivity rating of 104 decibels. The box comes with the IEMs, a 2-pin 3.5mm cable, documentation, 3 sets with 3 pairs each of different silicone tip builds. This also came with KIWI Ear's zipper case. The IEM is lightweight, and so is the cable. The cable is a 4-core oxygen-free copper cable that's a bit thin for my taste, but will do the job. The housing is resin with a slick abstract faceplate design that's got a glittery vibe to it, usually seen on IEM faceplates. Case is the usual KIWI Ears case that's not entirely crush resistant but will reasonably protect your IEM. Now, back to the earpieces. Having the KVTs inside your ear, you really do hear the spring-like reverberation. You hear this when you tap the IEM or when you clench your teeth. This is not a build issue and is something to expect from bone conduction or vibrational transducers in IEMs. Now, on to fit. The Etude fits surprisingly well. The resin shell is on the larger side, but they're shaped just right for my smaller ears. My wife, who is 4'11", with even tinier ears, said they also felt comfortable too, so no pressure after hours of use. The gray tips gave me a solid seal out of the box, blocking out noise really well. The cable's light enough to not drag, so these are also great for long sessions. KIWI Ears clearly put in the work into the fit, and even if the cable is a little bit underwhelming, I think that's just fine. Let's talk about sound. First and foremost, if you listen to a lot of podcasts or tracks that are less busy, the KVTs will produce a spring-like vibrational reverb that will potentially bother you. It's something to get used to, but greatly changes the experience with podcasts to be precise. When listening to music, the reverb gets drowned out in the mix. And here's where things get interesting. The IEMs actually do vibrate. Not so much in a sense that it adds to the sub-bass or the bass itself, but it adds tactility to them, making listening to jazz or some instruments sound as if they're close to your ears and they make your ears vibrate. Also, listening to Creep by Radiohead, the distorted electric guitars are given a new, more aggressive personality, and I would credit this to the KVTs. It sounds more growly on this unit. Anyhow, going over frequencies, the trebles are smooth and resonant with just enough sparkle to keep things airy without stinging your ears. Definitely not sharp to cause issues. However, please do note that I am not a bass head. I get fatigued by heavy bass and rumbles, plus I am not treble sensitive. Now on to mids. They're not shouty and vocals sound natural, unlike most single driver IEMs that recess mids a bit when the track gets busy. The KVT adds a unique reverb to the low mids, which is dope for music but can bleed a tiny bit into the vocals, giving them a slight hollow drum feel. This is only heard on less busy tracks though, again, just like podcasts. The BA drivers add a really good texture to the mids where they effortlessly cut through the mix, and this too is made possible with a laid-back punch. Punch is not at the bass head level, but it's there, just not emphasized in the tuning. I have the same experience with sub-bass that's tuned not to be overpowering, but exists to add to a more diverse low end. Instrument separation is expected on this unit, and it does deliver clean layering. Background synths, pianos, and guitar plucks are easily picked out of a busy track, all thanks to the multi-driver configuration. Now, as a gamer, I ran the Etude through FPS titles like Fallout 4, and this is where I test footsteps, wind howls, monster shrieks, gunshots, reloads, and nuances in the environment, which I believe is a good test to give IEMs a good judgment in terms of gaming performance. Starting off with dialogue, this is a no-brainer. All IEMs would project dialogue well. For footsteps, they're clear and cut through regardless of how noisy the surroundings can get. However, I have experienced better gaming audio on other sets with a U-shaped tuning, as the footsteps on this unit sounds a bit thin. I advise to up around 200Hz in EQ if this becomes bothering for you. And as for me, not too bothering. Coming from my ears that I have trained for flat-tuned IEMs when gaming. The Beryllium driver does a really good job with explosions though, but it's not at the level again of what a bass head would love. Punches are laid back, making gunshots less boomy, in turn making game audio less fatiguing after hours of gaming. Long sessions don't fry your ears, and the soundstage gives open-world games a real sense of space, like hearing wind or NPC chatter around you. Overall, I would not recommend the KIWI Ear's Etude to bass lovers, but for those on marathon gaming sessions who don't mind a bit of reverberation from bassy vocals, this is for you. By the way, links on where to get your Etude are in the description below, so go check them out. I'll see you guys again next time. This is Daniel with the Biboyharanero team. Do not forget to not subscribe.